Hey y'all, it's Katie and welcome back. Thank you so much for checking out another one of my videos, or if you are new, welcome, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. As you saw from the title, today we are going to be talking about my top favorite, my #1 product from 5 popular indie brands. Now I'm collaborating on this video today with a fellow YouTuber, so I'm very excited to introduce you guys to Kelly. Kelly has been off of YouTube for a little while, but I've mentioned her in the past. We've done a collab video in the past. I can leave that link down below or linked up here if you want to check it out. But she took a little bit of a break off of YouTube when she had her daughter, and her daughter's now a bit older, so she's getting back into YouTube, and I'm so very excited that she is coming back. And when I saw she had come back, I was like, oh, we need to do a collab together. It's been so long since we've really been able to talk about makeup. So she came up with the idea for this video, which was done by a couple other YouTubers as a sort of collab, once again a collab video. And I'm not exactly sure who started it, but I do know all of the YouTubers that are involved were Samantha March, Stephanie Marie, Risa Does Makeup, Andrea Mattiliano, and Jennifer Joyce Beauty. I'll have all of them listed down below, as well as a link to their video if you'd like to see their videos and see who created it, and then also their answers and what their #1 picks are from the 5 popular brands that they have in their collection. So all those will be listed down below, and of course Kelly, who I am collaborating on this video, will be listed down below. I highly encourage you to check her out. If you're someone who maybe isn't as crazy about color as I am, and you like more neutral looks, more soft looks, more just not every other color of the rainbow, just, you know, hovering over on the neutral side, definitely check out Kelly, because she tends to do those types. Since she's a mom and she's also a teacher, so she has those types of videos, and also of course she has a lot of great videos just talking about the different brands that she has tried and she has experienced, her favorite products, that sort of thing. So I highly encourage you to check out her video. As I said, I'll have her channel linked down in the description box, as well as her video for our collab video today. And if you're coming over from Kelly's channel, thank you so much for checking out my video, and I hope you guys enjoy. But yeah, Kelly suggested to do this video that Samantha and all of them had done together because she thought it'd be really neat. She's not super big into the indie world. She's more of, I would say, like high-end, kind of like Sephora-ish brands is what she tends to go for. So she was going to do her, you know, most 5 popular brands from kind of Sephora, high-end-ish, and then I could do my top 5 most popular brands from the indie world. So if you're someone who enjoys learning about indie brands, or you're curious to learn about indie brands, this is a video for you. Hopefully you'll get to hear my top picks from 5 of the pretty popular, in my opinion, they're pretty popular indie brands that are out there. And if you're someone who's a little more mainstream, maybe you prefer to shop at Sephora and you're more high-end, then definitely check out Kelly's video, as she's going to be talking about 5 popular, more higher-end mainstream brands. So yeah, I think that's all the intro that I have before we jump into today's video, but I do need to do my Instagram shout out. And today is going to go to Kiara Lachelle. Kiara Lachelle is actually a fellow YouTuber, and she has an amazing Instagram page. You definitely need to check her out if you love beautiful makeup pictures that are like themed and not just boring old flat lays like I do or just close-up shots of my eyes. You need to check out Kiara, because she's so artistic. She's so talented. She's got such an eye. But anyway, thank you so much for commenting on my most recent Instagram picture. I really do appreciate Kiara. You always have the sweetest things to say. And if you want a chance to be featured at the beginning of my videos in my Instagram shout out, all you have to do is be following me on Instagram. I'm LadyKatie92, and comment on my posts as they go up, and I randomly select someone before jumping into the video. So yeah, as I said, I think I said everything I needed to say. Let's just go ahead and jump right into talking about my #1 picks from 5 you guys know. My #1 picks from 5 popular indie brands. Okay, I feel like this should be pretty easy if you are at all familiar with my channel or have been following me for any length of time, but definitely a popular brand. I feel like for me, in the area that I am in the indie world, a very popular brand is Menagerie Cosmetics. They, oh my gosh, anytime that they're gonna launch something, I feel like all of my friends and everyone I follow is just talking about it and sharing about it, and, you know, saying how they're gonna get it. It's just always a buzz. Everyone's always excited whenever Menagerie is going to release something. And I actually have quite a bit from Menagerie when we're talking about what Menagerie Cosmetics offers. I have their liquid lipsticks, I have the setting powder, and I have their palettes. I can't think, they're starting to do more body products like body butters and stuff like that, which I haven't tried. But other than that, I have like at least 1 or 2 of everything. I have a couple of their lipsticks I love. I really like their setting powder. It's a very nice setting powder. I don't think they have any highlighters, because I feel like I would have owned a couple by now, but they really need to come out with highlighters. Anyway, I have a lot of palettes, so of course you guys know, being the eyeshadow palette addict that I am, when I think of a brand, the first thing that comes to mind, or that just rises to the top as like #1 spot, is going to be eyeshadow palettes. And once again, if you've been following me for any length of time, you know that my #1 favorite palette when it comes to Menagerie Cosmetics is the Whale Song palette. Is anyone surprised? Nope, I know, but I'm so predictable. But yeah, the Whale Song palette just has my heart so much. I love their other palettes just depending on my mood. But when we're talking about the things that I just really like, my just comfort zone when it comes to color, grungy greens are where it's at. And I don't mind the mix of blue. I tend to not be big in blue, but I've discovered that like grungy greens in the crease with blue on the lid or blue on the outer corner and maybe a bright green on the lid, stunning. I absolutely love it. So yeah, this palette has been at the top of my favorite. When I'm thinking of Menagerie Cosmetics, and my number one, Whale Song is always at the top ever since it came out. I have loved it so much. The artwork for Menagerie Cosmetics, I feel like I say this every time, but when you look at the palette, how beautiful the artwork is, when you feel the palette, how nicely weighted it is, and then when you experience the palette and use the shadows and just see what good quality of shadows these are, it always amazes me at the price that it is, because I feel like it's so good. It could be like $10, $20 more, and I'd still pay it and think it's well worth it. Not that I want them to raise the price, but I just think you can't beat it when you talk about the price of this and then just the quality of it. I'm always astounded. Menagerie does such a good job. So yeah, my number one from Menagerie Cosmetics is the Whale Song palette. So next up, thinking about popular indie brands, I definitely thought of Give Me Glow. And this one is actually kind of hard because I don't have a ton from Give Me Glow. I have their highlighters, and then I have their eyeshadow palettes, and then some eyeshadow singles. So I was thinking over it, and I actually really like pretty much everything. I'm trying to think of something that I tried from Give Me Glow that I haven't really liked. I probably have tried something, but it's just not coming to mind. But I really like their highlighters, and I really like their eyeshadow powders. They're just really good quality. I just find them very friendly to work with. And initially I was like, oh, I know what's my favorite, but this past month I've been trying the Extra Spicy palette, which is really, really nice. I had so much fun. It's just, if you like reds and oranges, you'll really like this palette. However, when I'm thinking about the palette that I have no issues with it. Whenever I reach for it, I never have any issues with any of the shades, and I just love the color story and the colors that I can get on my eyes. There's a couple shades in here. You guys are going to hear me talk about it more when I review it in a week or two. But there's a couple shades that are a little bit trickier, and we'll get into it then. But when we're talking about a palette that just has no dud for me, it's the Juicy Olive palette. So I had to pick the Juicy Olive palette. I know I'm going to be so predictable because it is green, but the quality in here is just so nice. And while it is like more of a monochromatic, you just get the grungy green. I mean, if you like grungy greens like me, you have so much fun. Yes, it might be the same. You can't get a lot of variety of tones when it comes to grungy green. That's okay. I love grungy green, so I love it. And another aspect I like is just that each one of these shadows, while they're very close, yes, they're all different, so they add something to it. And there's no shade in here that I'm like, oh, you could have totally got rid of that, and you wouldn't even have noticed. I mean, these two, yes, they're close, but one's definitely a lot deeper than the other one, especially when you're using it on the eyes. So yeah, everything about this palette I think just hit it out of the park. I love that there's a nice deep tone in here, two different types of shimmers, and their shimmer formula. Oh, I said I wasn't going to swatch because I don't want to get dirty, but like, how can I resist? Look how pretty. Oh, I'm blinding you with the mirror. Look how pretty that is. I like their shimmers. They're just so easy and effortless to apply. They're such a dream in this palette. So yeah, when I'm thinking about my number one from Give Me Glow, I have to give it to the Juicy Olive palette because it's just such a solid palette. And if you're someone who loves that kind of grungy green, you kind of need this palette. Like, it's good. Okay, so moving right along, another very popular brand is kind of like up and coming. In the last year, I feel like it's gaining a lot of momentum, a lot of popularity. They were even mentioned by Allure magazine or Allure website, so I feel like that definitely makes them a popular indie brand, but it is Midas Cosmetics, and I am just so excited to see them coming up and being more talked about it in, the beauty community, but YouTube specifically. I'm just so very excited. So I was thinking over all the products that I have from Midas. I think I've tried like 4 of her palettes, or I guess 5 or 6 if you count the little quads that I got last fall. They're all just so very nice, and I love her her color stories that she puts together within a palette. I feel like it's just so spot on. And we're talking about my all-time favorite palette that she's come out with. It's got to be the Midas Cosmetics Lemonade palette. The packaging on the outside is different now, but the inside is the same. I mean, she just redid the packaging, but the inside is just so good. I love how, ooh, I almost flicked it away. I love how bright and vibrant this palette is, and I love how the eyeshadows stay that vibrant and beautiful and bold on your eyes. I just love how vibrant of a yellow I can get, a yellow eye look I can get when I use this palette. The formula themselves of Midas is definitely very thin. When you're talking about like a Menagerie and even Give Me Glow, the formula of their eyeshadows is very thick and dense, whereas this is a lot thinner. So I feel like it's more, not beginner friendly, but if you're someone who doesn't want to work too hard or be too careful with your eye looks, I feel like this is a great formula to do. And I personally, while I tend to not like thin formulas, this is an exception because while it's thin, it's still very pigmented. It blends beautifully, it builds up nicely. Everything about this I absolutely love, and I really do appreciate that they give a true nice deep shade to deepen up a yellow eye look, unlike the Honey palette from ColourPop, who gave you just the lightest kind of tannish color. I don't even know. It was like a mustard, but very light, warm mustard to deep, and that was their deepest shade. And so you couldn't deepen anything. And I'm someone who likes to really deepen up my looks if I want to, so I like to have a dark shade in a palette. So this definitely gave it to me. And yeah, overall, I'm very impressed. Anytime I think of wanting to do a yellow eye look, which I do often want to, because I just love yellow on the eyes. It just looks so bright, so fun, so happy. My mind immediately goes to Midas's Lemonade palette because it's just such a solid palette with colors that give you a very yellow look. There's no repeat shades, there's no dead shades, there's no shade that shouldn't be in here. Each one of them is absolutely beautiful, and I really like this one. I think it was that was just the most beautiful. I always swatch in the funkiest of places, but yeah, look at that reflect. Absolutely stunning. So yes, had to pick Midas's Lemonade palette. Okay, next up for a popular indie brand, I feel like will come as no surprise, but it is Juvia's Place. They are definitely extremely popular. I feel like they're very much in the mainstream, but they're still an indie brand, so they're definitely one of those brands that have kind of broken through. I feel like they were one of the first indie brands that I really dove into and just fell in love with the quality of their eyeshadows. So definitely qualify for a popular indie brand, and I have so many products from Juvia's Place. I bought a lot, and then I think last spring I got put on their PR list, which, like, who am I? I could not believe it. I still can't believe I'm on their PR list. But yeah, so I've been on their PR list and I've gotten to try a lot of their products. I love their highlighters. I almost picked their highlighters. I bought that myself because it came out a while ago, and I recently bought it a couple months ago, and I'm just blown away by how beautiful the highlighter is. It is stunning. It's the pressed one. So beautiful. It came out with the Tribe palette. But anyway, when I'm thinking about Juvia's Place, you guys know my mind goes to palettes, and if you know me or have been following me for any length of time, you're probably not surprised, but my number one product from Juvia's Place is the Tribe palette, the actual palette that came out with that highlighter. But yeah, this palette is just... it's beautiful. It's lovely. I love the mix of green with the brown and the neutral because I like that mix of grunge. So maybe if I'm not feeling super duper green, super bright green like I am today, you can mix in these other kind of neutral browns. I mean, this isn't a neutral brown. It's like an orange, but you can mix in more neutral, brownish, very calming tones to not make it go too crazy. But if you want to go all green, you can stick to the, you know, this shade, these, and you can get a really bright, very bold green like I have today on. So I love the mix of that in this palette. And I really did find that all of the shadows in here just hit it out of the park. There isn't any shade in here that I felt like shouldn't have been in there or was a dud or anything like that, which I really appreciate in a palette. And yeah, overall, you guys have heard me talk about the Tribe palette so many times. I was hoping to get back to it and be able to do 3 looks to create kind of like a throwback 3 looks 1 palette plus review video, but I didn't get to this month, so maybe next month. We shall see. There's been a lot of new palettes coming out recently, so I don't know, but that doesn't have anything to do with today's video. For this video, when I have to pick my number 1 from Juvia's Place, it is the Tribe palette, hands down. Okay, so last up for my number 1 pick from a popular indie brand, I decided to go with JD Glow Cosmetics. I feel like they're definitely a very popular brand, especially when you're talking about like indie world on Instagram. I feel like they're very popular, and anytime they're coming out with something new, I just see it going around. So I felt like they were a good one to pick for a popular indie brand. And I was thinking over all the products I have, and I actually don't have a palette from them because I don't think JD Glow, at least in the time that I've known them, has ever released a palette. They do singles, they do, I think, lipsticks, they do multi-chromes, they do liners, that sort of thing. I have their neon liquid liners, which I wasn't the biggest fan of. I have a video if you want to see. I have some of their single shadows, which I really do like. I have their multi-chromes, which I think are really pretty and fun. But when I'm thinking of my number 1 from JD Glow Cosmetics, the one thing that easily rises to the top are their glitter liners. I think they're called glitter tubes on their website, but I purchased 2 the last time I ordered from JD Glow Cosmetics, and I absolutely love it. The blue is called Unicorn Snot, which is a hilarious name, and then the green is Mermaid Tails, and they're just so beautiful. If you like the Urban Decay heavy metal liners, but they're very pricey, this is like an affordable indie dupe, and I highly recommend them. I have this one, Mermaid Tails, on my eyes, and I almost didn't put it on because I was like, Katie, your eyes are already so sparkly with the eyeshadow, you're probably not going to be able to tell. And I don't know if it comes across very well on camera, but in person, I can really tell that I have glitter liner on because the glitter in here is just so reflective. It's so well saturated throughout the liner. Like the one con I can often have with a glitter liner is the formula is mostly just like a clear liquid, and then there's just a little bit of glitter kind of throughout, and it doesn't have a ton of glitter, so it just takes forever to build up. That's not really the case with this at all. I have no problems applying this. I usually do about at least 2 coats just to make sure it's nice and even and as shiny as I can get it, and I'm good to go. So yeah, I really do like these. I think they are absolutely fantastic. fantastic, and I hope they continue to release more colors because I want more colors because I'm just crazy like that. I love glitter in my crease. Do a half cut crease and put some glitter in there. I think it's so beautiful. It's a way you can just add a little bit of flair to your eye look, and I often like to do that when I sit down to film, just to add a little bit of something. And if I do an all matte look, an all matte look with a half cut crease and then this on that line, my favorite. So yeah, these are really, really good. And also, I know I mentioned the neon liners I'm not a fan of, and the reason I don't like them is because the brush on the neon liner is extremely stiff and it just makes it difficult to work with. So I do want to point out that the liner on here, their glitter liner, is like polar opposite. It's a lot shorter, it's a lot softer, you can easily bend it, it's just so easy to apply. To this day, I still don't know why they use that really stiff, hard brush in their neon liners and didn't just use this brush. Like, I don't know, I feel like it'd be really easy to just use the same tubes and put neon liner in there, but I don't know. I really wish they didn't have those stiff brushes in their neon liners because I would like it so much more. But anyway, I just want to point out that these aren't the same as those. So I really like the brush tip or the bristle brush that they have in their glitter liners, or like I said, glitter tubes, I think is what it's called on their website. So overall, these are just fantastic. Highly recommend them. And like I said, especially if you're looking for a dupe for Urban Decay, the heavy metal glitter liners, save some money and get these. But there's not a whole lot of colors. JD Glow, please come out with more colors. Please, please, please. These are just so fun. Alright, so that is going to do it for the #1 product from the 5 most popular indie brands that I kind of know of. Maybe these aren't exactly the most popular indie brands, but they're definitely the most talked about in like my sphere, as I said, in the indie world, in the indie beauty community. So hence why I picked them. So I hope you guys enjoyed it and just getting to hear my recommendation from 5 of these indie brands. And let me know if you've tried any of these indie brands. I always love to hear what products you've tried and if I should try anything that I haven't tried yet. I feel like every brand has that hidden gem that no one really talks about, but that is absolutely amazing, and I love finding those products. So if you have any recommendations that you don't think I've tried yet from any of these brands, definitely let me know and I will check it out, and maybe I'll throw it into a future order. But yeah, that is going to do it for today's video. Make sure you go over and check out Kelly's video. As I said, she's going to do more mainstream, kind of like brands that are available at Sephora, so you can hear her recommendation, her #1 pick from 5 popular brands that are more mainstream. And as I said in the beginning, if you came over from Kelly's channel, thank you so much for checking out my channel, checking out my video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to say hi down below in the comments. But yeah, with all that said, if you want to get more content, more daily content from me, I upload about every day over on my Instagram. I'm LadyKatie92 over there, and as I said, I upload about every day. And if you interact with my content that I upload, as I said, you can get a chance to be featured in my Instagram shoutout at the beginning of my videos. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up, as it helps me in the whole YouTube algorithm. But with all that said, I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.